Hey, welcome back. Try this again. Actually, we're not trying anything again. Continuing the process. I'm building the Snowth. Finishing up the coffee. And now it's time for beer. Alright. So apologies for the other video. Couldn't really see what I was doing half the time. It was all over here and you were only seeing over here. Whatever. So we got the Snowths glued together. I've been trying to figure out the mouth plate situation or the grip inside. I'm at a weird angle. But because it needs to kind of open and close nice and clean like that, ideally, I'm not quite sure what the grip needs to be. I'll show you. I was just trying to think around. Oops. Some possibilities. I was thinking maybe it's an upper and lower mouth plate inside. And I measured something out that would, what that would be if that were to be. And it didn't seem right. Then I kind of thought, oh, since it opens into an O, a circle, maybe it's a rounded mouth plate, or maybe it's like some gasket rubber or something that kind of can do that. So, but I'm not sure. So I got some gasket rubber. That's what this is. And I don't know. That sort of looks right. I tried to make it wide enough to put a grip on there. Maybe just like one finger and the thumb. I don't know. Trying to figure that out. And a fabric mouth plate. Trying to get all that. I was hoping to have that all totally figured out before doing anything else, and I kind of got a little stumped with it because I think I can't really test how that works until everything is in place. Oh, excuse me. Coffee and beer are just getting to know each other. There we go. Anyway, so I decided to just leave the mouth plate alone for now and give this guy some skin, and maybe the answers will reveal themselves. So, did I even do this right? Uh-oh. I may have cut out this piece. See, I want this, I got some old practice fleece here. See, I want to put the stretchy side this way. I kind of cut it out the wrong way, but I think there's enough. So I'm trying to just get like half of the skull, you know, figured out. And then, yeah, that'll be the whole fabric pattern for the head. And I want the stretchy part of the fabric to go front to back, like that. Is that enough? Is that enough? Okay. Just making sure I've got the halves covered. Alright. So, just trying to get it to lay as naturally as it wants to. I know there's going to be a dart about where the dart in the foam is, so it's going to be about there. Alright. So now I'm just going to go around. I'm going to kind of try to pin it along the center line all the way around. I'm sort of trying to be careful not to poke through the actual center where it's glued on the foam, because I don't want to kink up the foam or make a big dent. So I'm trying to go just inside. Alright. So I was just going around to kind of hold things in place. Forget the bottom. That's about right at the edge. Acceptable. You know what? Do this again because I see that I need a little more material for that lip. I do not leave myself enough room. So I'm going to slide the whole thing over. This is not an ideal piece. I thought the stretch was going the other way, and when I cut this out, so. But I think it's big enough to work. Okay. Covered. Okay. All right. It's tight, but it'll work. Okay. Yeah, it's a nice, easy shape. So there's not much to worry about with this pattern. Ouch. That was done. I changed my mind to where I was going to pin it while I was still pinning, and I stuck myself. That's just one of those things. It's bound to happen. I'm just giving it a quick pinning around just to hold it in place, and we'll get in there a little finer. So ultimately, I'm going to get it pinned down along the center, and then we'll draw a line, and then we'll cut it out. Okay. Try not to crush my little glued seam in the middle. Hey, the framing looks a little better this time. I made the mistake of having the camera the other way so I couldn't see the screen. So I had no idea what was visible. Mostly I'm trying to stay out of frame. It's not about me, man. Yeah, one of the things that I enjoy about puppet building is that mysteries reveal themselves or their answers just when it's time. Like this mouth plate thing, having trouble figuring it out. I figured out as much as I can without putting it together. I still don't quite have the answers yet that I want. But I'm not there yet. So when I actually get there, losing my glue. Little dent, but it's okay. Careful. Yeah. Problems that you can't figure out always kind of have a way of answering themselves once you actually get to that step. And I might not have been at that step yet. It'll all make sense when it happens. And I think that's really fun. I think that's cool. I like that you don't have to have it all figured out. You know, and I like that it seems sort of magical sometimes when the answers reveal themselves. So I try to figure everything out as much as I can before I make any moves. One, because I don't like to backtrack. I don't like to make mistakes. And, you know, materials are not the cheapest, so I try to get as much right the first time as possible to minimize any kind of waste. So look at that, isn't that fun? It's getting there. Pinhead. Yeah, all puppets have very weird stages of development that look kind of grisly. But they end up all fluffy and cute, if you want them to. Feeling good about that dart? I like that. I think that's okay. Seems like it's where it wants to be. All right. So last time we watched glue dry together. That was fun. Remember that? Remember the time we watched glue dry together? That was neat. This has got to be like, I mean, exponentially more exciting than that. Watching this thing get pinned. Let's see, I know there's going to need to be a little bit of a dart probably on this side of the mouth just to get it to kind of curl in a bit. This part is going to join up with the black faux suede fabric mouth plate inside. So I figured that would start right on the inside of the lip. So I'm going to have this part go over, at least, you know, the rim of it, and the black part will start inside. And that'll get covered with the yellow lips that are just going to glue on to the outside. That's the idea. So, let's see. If I'm coming in as flat as possible, I feel like right there is about where there's going to be a little dart. I'm trying to just let the fabric be as natural as possible. Just let it go where it wants to go. But where there's a little bunch up, just kind of, that'll be our dart. See, now this is looking pretty clean. Like it wants to go over that edge nice and clean, so that's good. All right. Couple on there. That side. Yeah. Try to keep the mouth open to the neutral position. I think we're good. It's looking good. Okay, feel good about that. All right. Just gonna throw a couple more pins around here just to make sure we're right up to the edge of the glued part. I get a hair closer, I'll get a hair closer. Okay. I'm just trying to slip it on. Now that there's 1,000 pins in it, I'm going to put it on my hand. I do want to make sure I get a neckline that I'm happy with. So this is going back. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of draw neckline. About there. That makes sense. Okay. Carefully get out of here. All right. I didn't push the pins in all the way, so I wasn't gonna hurt myself too bad. All right. So I'm just gonna go around and draw the center line about where it seems like it is. You can sort of feel the glued seam underneath. So there's that. Here, I'm just going to go over the lip straight up and I'll do that. Well, let's see. I can mess with the dart. I can do this. This. That's sort of got that marked. I'm just going to go around this rim on the inside a little bit because that is where it's going to go up to. I'm always amazed that this works. It doesn't seem like any of this should work. Any of this patterning or like fabric joinery. It just, none of it seems like it should work. It seems sort of impossible. But then you do it, and it kind of works, and it's really weird. So I'm just gonna go real rough along my pins. Just check that I'm sort of riding the center. Especially here where the dart is. I'll make sure I'm on the center on both sides of that. But here I'm real close to the edge. Closer than I want to be. But I think that's okay. You want to use the stretch of the fabric a bit. So if that side is right at the edge, that's okay, because it'll pull. It'll pull together, I mean. The edge is a little sloppy, but it's close enough. Straighten that out, it'll be fine. Okay. Sort of like to mark the end point of the dart. That's about where it's going to start. And okay, one last look. I get this. Just checking all the edges. There. I got the bottom. I got that. Okay. We did it. We did it. Now, cut it out. But before I take everything off, I'm going to do a thing I like to do. It seems to work. I'm just going to cut right into this dart. Just let the scissors do it. And that, I find, sometimes just makes it more accurate if you just let the scissors do it and try to cut out what I traced. And do the same thing right here. I don't want to take off too much, but it's whatever is there naturally. All right, look at that. See? So that's a nice, clean little dart. Nice clean dart. That should come together fairly clean. Yeah. Usually the pieces you get off are pretty symmetrical. You know, it works. It works. So now, get rid of all these pins. All of them. Yes, it is. Now, let's go ahead and put this lid back on the pins. It's the last thing I need to pick up. So now we got that. Yeah. So, what do we do now? I'm just gonna clean up some lines. Ooh, that's a fun sound. Can you hear that? I don't know what that is. Hey. This will be a straight line. Go ahead and use this ruler. All right. I love the process of truing up a pattern, because it's really satisfying to take like a rough shape or a rough cut of something or rough tracing and smooth it out, you know. It's kind of neat. Like as you're building one of these things, you have a lot of opportunities to clean up the pattern as you're going, because you're constantly like tracing it and reproducing it on different materials to make sure this kind of lines up close enough. Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see things come together. So carefully, without taking off too much, just gonna go around and around. I gave myself kind of a fat line to cut around, so I'm sort of just trying to make a nice clean curve. I'm amazed at how forgiving fabric is. I mean, it's nice and stretchy, so it kind of works with you a bit. You got leeway with some of your shapes. But I think it's amazing that it even works at all. It's so cool. Curve, boom. Curve here. Starting to look like something. Yeah. Let's see. I'm not following any one particular line on this messy part. I'm just kind of looking at the overall shape, trying to leave myself a little extra just in case. So, look at that. And just for curiosity, let me get the other thing. So here's the foam skull pattern. And there's the fabric pattern. It's interesting to see the differences. Be nice if you could just use one for both, but you can't because they're different. All right, now just gonna drape it over and see how it looks. So I know that part is gonna go as far as the inside of the lip. Look at that. That's pretty good. Our dart looks okay, I think. Let's see. Middle does. I think it's pretty good. I might be able to remove a little more fabric, maybe on the end. So I'm just going to kind of pin this in place and see if there's anything obvious. I think sometimes I could make the fleece patterns that I make a little smaller to accommodate for the stretch. But I'm always trying to be careful to not take off too much stuff. I don't want it to be too tight. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I have a feeling this back part might need to be trimmed, or that my dart could be widened just a little bit. Let's see. It's the way this is laying. Let's figure this dart out. Let's attack it from both sides. So go ahead and square up the bottom, which I feel like looks pretty good. Okay. Now, here's what the question is. This feels good here, so I'm gonna tack that down. Okay. Yeah, see, I got some overlap here. See my center line? I got some bit over. I could probably take that off. Let's see. Okay. So let's see. Now that I got it pinned and it's laying kind of flat where I want it, and I can see that's it's my dart that's a little uneven, I'm gonna try to trace where the excess is and try to trim that off. Refine that dart just a little bit. All right. Sorry, I'm just making sure that, you know what, let me keep pinning. The more structure, the better. Just pulling it just a little bit. Trying to keep it wrinkle free so we can get a good dart. Let's see. That sort of wants to go there. And see, it sort of wants to overlap a little bit here. So, go ahead and let it overlap a little bit then. I'm going to grab the end of this one. Just kind of help pull it. All right. Okay, not bad. And now we're still a little over the center on this side. So I'll just keep pinning. Oops. Okay. Down. All right. Ah. All right. So I'm just gonna, well, just want to make sure this dart is just right. All right. Pull it like that. Okay. All right. See, it's got a little bit of a bubble right there, but I think we'll take care of that when we get rid of the excess. So, I'm gonna look for that middle line. I'm taking off a tiny bit here. And a tiny bit here. Let's start with that. So just carefully on the outside of my line. Just a little bit from here. Okay. Let's see if that lays any better. I have not dealt with the dart, but looking for that to lay down nice. And that to lay down nice. It's pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and mark from the dart to the center there. All right. I'm just going to be bold and take it off a little bit. Let's see if I can get a hold of it. Okay. That sort of does it. Sort of does it. Sort of does it. We got a pretty good center line going. Still got that little nub sticking off. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut it off. There we go. When that's sewn together, it'll kind of round itself off a little bit more. All right. So I have a seam that looks kind of like that. It might need to be rounded a little bit. Sometimes rounding a dart makes it a little more friendly to curves. But I think that's workable. Let's just pin it one more time. Somehow I feel like this has got to be like way more boring than the other video, watching glue dry. Because that's what it literally was, man. See, that's pretty good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wherever there's a little bit of black, just go ahead and trim that like 1/8 inch off, just so that it'll be nice and taut. But I think I feel pretty good about that. That's half a Snowth right there. I think that feels pretty good. Okay. I'm sure there are faster, better ways of doing this. I am slow. I'm very slow. And I have to look at things over and over again and think about it for a long time before I make a move. But we get there, man. We get there. So just real gently, I'm gonna take this, like I said, like 1/8 of an inch off this side. And like 1/8 of an inch off this side. Coming down. All right. So now we are left with this. It's a fairly clean shape. I think it'll work. I dropped his head. Oh well. Just measure this dart. 2 inches by 2 inches. How about that? Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm just gonna round off this edge. Boom. Or square it off, whatever you think. Whatever you think. Cool. All right. Well, I feel pretty good about that. I think I will go ahead and cut this out of the pink stuff, the pink fleece, and yeah, start sewing together a face. And then sew in the suede mouth fabric, the inside, and then hopefully I can figure out what to do for a grip from there. Yeah, that's it. Well, thanks for watching this. This is all I'm prepared to do at the moment. Cheers.